I wanted to take a few minutes and share with you the change that has recently happened for me in my career. For the past 13 years, I've been a minister, and recently I have switched vocation and gone into coaching. And some people call this life coaching, executive coaching. There are lots of names for it, but it's essentially the same thing, whatever it's called. This began in October of 2016 when I began to feel a divine nudge and intuition that I was supposed to quit ministry, that I was supposed to stop. And there was quite a bit of wrestling that went with that. I thought that I was going to be a pulpit minister for the rest of my life, that this would be what I would retire doing. And so it was a struggle to come to this conclusion. But as this was happening, there were a few things that confirmed this for me in terms of wanting to fulfill what I believed that I was supposed to be doing. Ultimately, what I wanted was to see people's lives transformed. And I saw preaching as the way that could happen. And so I put all my eggs in one basket. I did the best I could to hear as many good sermons as I could, to figure out what made a sermon good, to work on those, to work on public speaking, to try to share with people the truths that I believed God wanted them to hear. And there were times when I did this that I probably bombed. I probably did a pretty bad job, and I'd leave wondering if anybody got anything out of what I just said. But there were other times that the work paid off, and I believed that I gave a message that was as good as anything that I could do, that I had reached the top of what I was going to be able to do in that moment. And on one of those occasions, there was a man who came up to me afterwards, and he said to me something that most preachers want to hear, which is, "That was the best sermon I've ever heard in my life." And immediately I'm swelling up on the inside, my ego's bursting, I'm pretty excited. And the next thing I began to wonder is, well, I wonder if he'll be in church next Sunday. I wonder if he's going to move from being a visitor to a regular attender. I wonder if I'm going to see some change happen in his life. And so I watched, and the next Sunday he didn't show up. He didn't come the Sunday after that. For many Sundays he didn't show up. And I also knew him well enough to see that his life had not changed. Things were the same for him, especially in regards to that specific aspect that I felt like I was preaching on. And at the same time this was happening, at the same time I began to feel this divine nudge to quit, to stop. I had engaged with a coach for about a year before I sensed that it was time to change. In October 2015, I started working with a coach, trying to just improve every aspect of my life. And what I found out was that anything that we worked on would get a little bit better. Family life, my relationships with my kids and my wife, with everyone. My work was getting better. I was enjoying it more. I was, I think, doing a better job. My habits were getting better. I was healthier. Everything that we talked about seemed to get better. And what I was realizing was that this coaching was achieving what I had been trying to achieve with preaching. And I don't want to disparage preaching at all. I'm going to be looking for good sermons for the rest of my life. I know that we need people who are willing to dig deep and find truths that we normally think about and share those with us. But what I find is there's often a disconnect between those deep truths that are shared on a Sunday morning or in the books that we read or on the videos that we watch and what actually transfers into our lives. And that's what coaching is about. The attitude we often take with change in our lives is a little bit ridiculous when you think about it. It's as if we want to get fit, we want to get in shape, and so we watch workout videos and expect that to change us. What we really need to do is watch those videos and then do what they tell us to do. And sometimes that is very difficult. It's impossible for a pastor to get up on Sunday, for any book to write down all the different ways that these truths that we recognize ought to be applied, because each of us have a different context, a different life, a different way of being, and we need different steps to become the people that we are supposed to be. And as this happened, as this shift began, and I sensed that coaching was something that I wanted to go into, I began taking certification classes. I began getting a few clients. And what I was seeing was that after one session, there would be an aspect of their life that would improve, that things would get better. These things that many people thought they would be stuck in for the rest of their lives, after talking about them, figuring out what the next steps were, they were able to do those things and change. And so that's the why and how and what's going on with me and this change of vocation. I plan on posting plenty of videos about what it means to live a full and abundant life, to keep delving in those deep truths. I don't think I've lost the preaching bug just because I'm no longer in the pulpit. And so if you'd like to hear from me in the future, you can subscribe to the Facebook page. I'm on Instagram now and Twitter, and you can hear from me again. And I hope what I have to offer will be a blessing to you. And God bless you and have a good day.